the third trip, that one was like, it was like meeting God. It's like you've taken a drug that reduces your depression and anxiety for the moment. I had a 30-hour fast, and during that fast, I wrote everything down that I wanted from the psychedelic itself. So something interesting happened after that. Once I stood up, I felt physically strong. What I mean by that is like, I felt 100% masculine.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear viewers and listeners. Welcome back to yet another episode of Beauty Lies Beyond podcast with me, Miriam Rose. I'm excited to be back for this episode with yet another amazing guest, Allan, but I'll allow him to introduce himself, as is always the tradition. Well, welcome, Allan.
Thanks for having me. So my name is Allan. I'm a software engineer by profession with finance as a background. But I just happen to have very unique spiritual experiences that I'd love to share today.
And that is why you're here.
Yeah.
So, first, maybe you can start us off by telling us a bit about your background, how your spiritual life, how you became spiritual.
By how I became spiritual?
Yes, if you define yourself as a spiritual person.
I wouldn't define myself in any essence, really. What I'd say is I grew up in a very, very like stout Christian home. So I've always been a Christian. At no point in my life was I ever an atheist, but I always knew there was something more than Christianity or more than what is being actually shown. So for me, what I'd say is I've had a period where I was going through the dark night of the soul, like really tough times that led me to some spiritual practices that changed my viewpoint on reality as a whole. So what I'd say is in 2021, what happened is my closest friend, he's called Leon, he told me about meditation, but at the time I used to think that it's this mumbo-jumbo practice. Like I never took it seriously. I was like, this is something that monks do. But I was really like suffering from bad anxiety at the moment, so I just tried it. The first session, I saw some benefits, like I was calmer the whole day. Then after that, I was doing with YouTube walkthroughs, but I never saw any benefits. So this was for like a period of 6 months. I was like, this meditation thing doesn't work. But then I saw another YouTube video by some YouTuber. He gave like a clear blueprint on how to do it. So I was like, fuck this. Let me try this for like consistently for 30 days. I'm going to give it my all. So what I used to do is I just wake up in the morning, meditate for 10 minutes, and then go about my day. Now, the most fascinating thing that happened was in about the third week, I started realizing like profound changes. So for me, I used to get agitated a lot, or like, negative self-talk. So one day I was just leaving like the basketball court. I used to play basketball a lot. And then like I was like, why have I not played well and all that? But there was this like, there was this awareness that was watching that thinking. It's not me who's being agitated. It's me who's watching the agitation. I don't know if you understand me.
You became the observer of the agitation.
I was watching the agitation. And then I was like, what's this?
Yeah, how cool.
What's this? It's like I'm finally free. And then as the days went on, I used to have this self-destructing habit of like binge eating or emotional eating. It went away. Like I would go to the supermarket and then pick Coke, crepes, bad food. But all of a sudden I went to the supermarket and then I'm finding myself walking away from the soda. And I was like,
wow, who's this person?
Who's this? But now the thing is, I stopped meditating. Once I saw the benefits, it's like I stopped. Now once I stopped, I don't want to say the awareness went away because consciousness is actually who you are. But the benefits like subsided, and I was like, I really, really, really want to get back there. But I'd start meditating for an hour a day, but I couldn't see anything happening. So I was like, let me just do my research on this consciousness thing. And now that is how I came across psychedelics. which is a different topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. So did you before you get to psychedelics? So did you ever resume meditation again, or once you join psychedelics, uliendo kiendanga?
No, like I just saw videos on YouTube talking about psychedelics and how they bring you to higher consciousness and all that, but I was really skeptical. Like, if you tell someone that they'll use a certain drug and it will open a door to, I don't know, the answers to all their problems or awareness itself, they'll think you're crazy.
Yeah.
So like, I just used to watch a lot of documentaries, ayahuasca ceremonies, Iboga initiations, like Psilocybin ceremonies, and study their history really. But I was like, these drugs aren't really in Kenya. And then like, all of a sudden, when I was scrolling through Twitter, I was seeing that magic mushrooms are in Nairobi. So I was like, who's this selling? I won't give the details of the person selling, but I managed to find the drug itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my first trip, I've had 4 trips with magic mushrooms. The first 2 were never like profound. They were just like, they make you calmer. They make you, it's like you've taken a drug that reduces your depression and anxiety for the moment. You understand?
Mm.
But the third trip, that one was like, it was like meeting God.
Okay, expound.
Expounding really, like, where do I even start?
Can I first ask you something? Because me, I'm very new to psychedelics. I have heard it in the spiritual communities, but are mushrooms, the mushroom I know from the shamba,
like, there's
it
so
looks
many
the same.
species of mushrooms. I think there are over 800 of them. There's some that can kill you. There's some that are vegetables. The psychedelic mushrooms, like, mushrooms are amazing, man. They go from being edible to, I don't know, killing
but
you to giving you a life-changing
the same.
experience.
They still look.
No, they look
They're
different.
like the algae.
Yeah, they look
family.
like fungi, yeah.
Okay, cool. Fungi, algae, whatever. Yes, okay. So ni mushroom kawaida. Because I used to think they just call it mushroom jina tu. Kumbe it's proper for real mushroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get your magic mushroom.
Yeah.
And then you have the third trip. So the first 2 trips reduces your anxiety.
Okay, the first 2 trips, what I'd say is I didn't know how to prepare for a trip. What happened is the first trip was at night. The thing is, this mushroom, like, it's meant to enhance your consciousness, and it usually comes with a lot of visuals and hallucinations. So, like, when you take them at night, the experience won't be the best. So the first 2 trips, I took them at night. It was amazing, but not life-changing. During the third trip, I won't give details per se as to what I was going through, but those were the darkest moments of my life. I was like, I keep seeing these documentaries on magic mushrooms. They do this, X, Y, Z. I really want to know what's going to happen if I take them in a proper way. So, like, there's usually preparation, set, and setting. Preparation is like, you have to prepare for the trip itself. Like, some people do fasting, others sexual abstinence, others you write your intentions, all the things you want from the trip itself.
Mm-hmm.
The set is a quiet, safe place you can do the trip at. The setting is your mindset at the time. Are you really prepared for it or not? Because, like, at the end of the day, psychedelics are not something to be messed with. They are quite dangerous because once you take a psychedelic, it's like you're not in control of yourself. The plant has its own intelligence that takes you with it. So, like, you have to be open to whatever the plant wants to show you. Yeah, so for me, before the third trip, I decided to do it in Karura all alone. Yeah, so what happened is I had a 30-hour fast, and during that fast, I wrote everything down that I wanted from the psychedelic itself. So once I was going to Karura to ride a bicycle, I was well prepared. I knew that I'm taking 2 grams of magic mushrooms, and this is what I'm expecting from the trip itself. So what happened is I had a notebook that I wrote everything down. Every question I ever had, I wrote them down. So once I got into an Uber to head to Karura, I started taking the mushroom because, like, the onset is about 15 to 40 minutes. Once I took them, I got to Karura, got on my bicycle, and then started riding. So after 10 minutes, what normally happens is the colors just start changing. Like you get this different perception of reality where you can smell music, or you can hear the trees talking, or the colors and the space around you start saturating. And it's usually such a beautiful experience. And you know that the plant is taking you to somewhere else, really. So for me, once that started happening, I decided to sit down. There was a bench. I sat down and then took my notebook. Once I took out my notebook, it's like there's another consciousness that is separate from yourself, that knows everything.
And that's not the observer.
I'd say it's the observer as well, but I believe that psychedelics, they have spirits in the reductive sense.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, even though like psychedelics, they show you who you really are, apart from that, they can actually like, Terence McKenna, he's a botanist who advocated for psychedelics. He usually says that aliens like brought them to Earth, brought them to Earth to teach people how to become their best selves. So what I'd say is psychedelics like they show you who you really are, but at the end of the day, I'd say they carry spirits with them in the reductive sense. What I mean by that is that the lessons you're being shown, you wouldn't have known them any other way unless you took the plant itself. They carry an intelligence of their own, which is something crazy to say.
No, it makes sense. I've had not just psychedelics, but I've had this of plants that, it's not even just plants. Everything is consciousness, and consciousness has intelligence.
Yes.
It just varies from consciousness to consciousness, so who is holding the consciousness, the vessel. So no, it's not crazy for someone who understands.
Right. But what happened is I sat down with this notebook. People were just passing by. Someone looked at me as if, why is this guy writing in a forest? And I was like, I didn't care.
Yeah,
because at that time, like, I started writing like everything I ever wanted to know. And some answers that I got, I couldn't have got them in any other way. So
it was like automatic writing. Things started getting downloaded.
Yeah, automatic writing. And then I was like, maybe I'll lose my notebook. So I started taking pictures with my phone of what I was writing down. So something interesting happened after that. Once I stood up, I felt physically strong. What I mean by that is like, I felt 100% masculine. Wow. Like, do you know Shiva masculinity? Standing with an upright posture, shoulders back, chest out, chin up. I felt taller than I actually was. I felt what it was like being a man.
Yeah.
Like when you watch some cartoons or video games, you'll see some characters who are like really strong, standing upright, really tall. You understand? And then like for those 6 hours, I got to experience what that really was.
Yeah.
And then from that point onwards, like I started getting worried because I was like, well, wazazi wangu wamenilea, and here I am using a drug that has taken my whole like sense of reality at the moment, and I don't know what I'm actually doing. So once I got to the bike, something really fascinating happened. I just started riding. I wanted to go back home because I was like, zimeshika, I have to go back home. So something fascinating happened. So once I started riding the bike, in Karura, there's this place where people usually start having picnics.
Yeah,
so like I got there, I just put my bike down, and then like I went to sit down because I was like, I don't even know how to control myself with this upright, posture, like, and I was like, people are looking at me like I'm weird or something. And then like you have these good feelings, like the hallucinations haven't stopped. It's like, it's the most beautiful experience someone can ever.
So it's not like you're umelewa, you're out of control. No, you're not out of control, but you can feel there's something different.
What I'd say is, in a way, you are out of control, but it's like the universe is telling you, like,
I got you.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's like the universe. You ask the universe, I want to see, think, and feel. And then the cosmos was like, watch this.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a really beautiful experience. Once I got to that picnic area, I just sat down And then I saw a mother with a child. And then there's this sense of infinite love. Like, do you know the love you've ever felt since the moment you were born to now? It's like that and then times infinite. You're just carried away. And then after that, now it's just like, I have to go home. But once I got onto the bike, like, I'm just riding, but I don't know where I'm going. So I started getting worried. I saw a certain watchman, and then that guy asked me, like, where are you going? And then nikamuuliza, like, what do you mean, where am I going? Nikamwambia, mimi nataka kutoka huko. Akaniambia, umepotea. Yeah, like, I was actually lost.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I was lost. Nilikonga part ingine ya Karura that was far away from gates A, B, and C. Nilikuwa nimepotea kabisa. So mimi nikamwambia, with this upright posture and all that, I'm just like, wow, mimi nimechizi. Yeah, I really need to go back. Unaweza nisaidia. So once we started going back, like, niliacha kuride because alikuwa anatembea, alikubali kunionyesha the way back. It was such a long distance back. So mtu anaanza kuniambia story ya watoto wake, bibi yake, and I'm like, I'm listening, and then venye tunaongea tu, I started getting worried. Like, does this guy actually know that I'm on something? Because sijamwambia. Yeah, but we had such an amazing conversation. And once nilirudi kwa exit, I asked him, like, your conversation ilikuwaje? Alisema ilikuwa sawa. By the way, unaweza nipea namba yako?
That's interesting.
This is the best conversation I've ever had. And I'm like, wow, so even though, like, I'm high on something, nothing was actually wrong. Yeah, so I see. I just called an Uber to go back home. Nikika kwa Uber, nimekaa sijui aje, like, confident, let me just say that.
So you still have that confidence?
Yeah, I still have that confidence.
Johnny Bravo.
Shiva and all that.
Shiva.
Yeah, so I still have that confidence. But once I got home, it started, like, wearing down.
Yeah.
And like with psychedelics, the most fascinating thing is once the calm down starts happening, it's like you hear the sound of a door closing.
What?
Now, this is where I was telling you, like, there might be spirits in the reductive sense. Like, it's like the mushroom tells you, I've given you everything you ever wanted. Now, like, it's coming to an end. And all the lessons you've taken, you should integrate it into your life. Yeah. So you start hearing, like, this sound of a door closing. I can't point towards it because, like, even though we haven't talked about it, even with Iboga, there's that sound still. So you start hearing the sound of a door closing, and then, like, you start coming back to normal consciousness. And what I did immediately after that was call my friend and tell him, like, yeah, that was insane. Like, that was the most insane trip I ever had, but I didn't tell him that. I was just like, that was divinity 100%. Yeah, that was like, people usually say when they take psychedelics, ayahuasca, magic mushrooms, Iboga, they meet God. Like, at that moment, I understood
what they mean.
Yeah, what they really mean.
You make it sound so, I'll never take it. I'm sure I'll never. So I'm 1% of the population that will never. So you make it sound so divine.
Because it is.
And good, but is there, like, a downside to it?
What I'd say is, the main reason I'm here is to give my own experience. I'm not telling anyone who's watching to go and do it themselves. At the end of the day, these things are dangerous. They are known to give people permanent psychosis.
I would imagine.
Schizophrenia, bipolar. You understand? So you have to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. I won't come here and tell you, use drugs and to meet God. Like, no, this is my experience. This is my own manuscript. Like, write yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from my own experience, what I'd say is if you have been through, like, severe depression, PTSD, anxiety, or you're lost, you don't know why you're here on earth, psychedelics can open that doorway if they're taken with the right preparation, setting, and intention. Intention is the main thing. If you don't do them with intent, like, you have to move towards something, not try and escape something. If you're taking them to escape, like, a memory you have, that memory will come during the trip. And if you're taking it, like, to move towards something greater than yourself, or just have a better life in general, the universe will be like, okay, so watch this then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful how you've just put it. Nothing to add. Do you need a guide? Because you've mentioned that 3 times so far you were alone.
Yeah.
Is it a guide? Is a guide someone you'd prescribe for someone to have?
100%.
And why didn't you have one?
Because for me, when I was watching those videos, like, I just saw people taking them on their own, and it's only magic mushrooms. There are other psychedelics that you really need to have a shaman or a guide with you. Otherwise, like, you're just playing with things you don't know about. So, like, with magic mushrooms, I know, like, people just take them when they're alone and all that. Yeah, but during the third trip, I'd say I'd have needed a guide or even just someone to tell my experience so that they can help me integrate what I saw into my daily life.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even up to now, I'm usually like, that was just a drug-induced hallucination. But I find that once I incorporate the lessons I took from that trip into my life just becomes better.
You did integrate them?
I integrated them for like a week, but I burnt out. Or like that feeling of taking all the lessons word off. Like it's like motivation. You get motivated for like a week and then it dies. So I believe integration comes with discipline as well. Like you have to practice what you saw even when you're not feeling like it, which is the hardest part. Because most psychedelic users, they've had like insane trips or they say they met God, but when you watch their life, like it hasn't really.
Hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. Or they're going to another Iboga or mushroom trip to integrate the same experience they had, and that it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. I can't imagine inner work that people do for years and years.
Yeah.
A mushroom trip that's like 6 hours or even 24 hours helping you integrate everything. That's a shortcut nobody will give you. I don't think that's viable.
I will. Okay, my comments are that. Yeah, you should stand corrected. What I'd say with that is, like, at the end of the day, spirituality is being your higher self. As we've said, consciousness or awareness. What these plants do is that they can speed that process. Yeah, like you can actually get to experience your higher self for a certain period of time before you go back to normal consciousness.
Yeah.
So like all psychedelics can do that, but I believe that most people are good without them. I'd say that because, as you've said, they have downsides. And I believe the downsides for the majority of the population are higher than the upsides. Like if someone tells you they went to Brazil, did an ayahuasca ceremony, lived their past lives or I don't know what, and then you want to do that, and then you go there and lose your mind, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you get permanent schizophrenia or psychosis, that's on you. That's not on the person who told you. They were just telling you what they saw.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think what I meant was getting to your higher self, the way I understand the higher self, the higher self can allow you to get an experience that gives you a glimpse of itself. But I feel like it would actually be unfair that there are people who are doing this, getting to the higher self for years and years and years, and all this other person gets to do is pop a mushroom and get into their higher self permanently. That's what I'm saying. Because there are monks and masters and people who are trying, and books and scriptures written about getting to your higher self, which take time because it's an integration of consciousness. It's not so easy. Mushroom, mi vile nimelewa, they give you a glimpse into it for a specific period of time. A glimpse, it can shift you there so that you see what it is like. But the fact that you go back down and go back to your normal lower self is my point. So I don't think it's a hack. It's a hack to get there, to get a glimpse, but it's not a hack to get you there permanently. Because if that was a thing, everyone would do it.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be too easy.
That's the truth. So they actually show you a glimpse, but I'd say they show you like the mountaintop of what the peak human experience would be.
It's like you're given the picture to the highest potential. Like your higher self is it's like really big, highest frequency. So in the hope that the aliens, I bet they were like in the hope that if we show them, maybe they will have motivation to actually do the work.
Yes.
But kazi lazima ufanye.
Yeah, you have to put in the work. You can't just like take this certain drug and expect that X, Y, or Z will happen. You actually have to integrate the lessons you saw during that trip into your daily life, so that you can have that experience as your normal life every single day.
You can't hack the system like that. Cool. Tell us about the fourth, and then now tell us about other psychedelics like
now the fourth
Iboga.
experience. For me, now that one, that is why I'm telling you, psychedelics aren't for everyone, because that one was like the most horrifying like experience I've ever had, in the sense that it was a bad trip. Like I took it to like relive the experience I had during my third trip, but what I got instead was like, if you do your research on bad trips, people usually have this sense of going insane. Or they're dying. You feel like you're actually dying, but you're not. Yeah, so I had those two experiences, and I was like, yeah, it's like the mushrooms told me, I gave you what you want. Now you actually have to work towards getting there.
Yes.
Yeah, and for that reason, like, the inners sound funny, but yeah, you won't have the same experience now. So I had a horrific trip. One of my friends who took magic mushrooms said he'll never take them again, because he actually like went insane for like 6 hours. Like, okay, no one goes insane permanently. You go insane for like 6 hours and then you come back.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. No, like, okay, you can't go permanently insane.
Okay.
Unless you take ayahuasca or Iboga.
Which we'll talk about.
Yeah, that's another story. Yeah, but with magic mushrooms, everyone just goes back to a normal state of consciousness. And that's why I'm telling you, like, unless you've done your own research, or as some spiritual gurus say, the plant has called you, stay away from it. They're not something to be meddled with or like to joke with. Yeah, because when you take them, the plant controls you. You don't actually control yourself. You know?
Interesting. Do you say like any prayers when you're taking them during the preparation? Who's your guide? Who do you trust? Your higher self? The plant itself?
I'd say...
Who do you lean on?
I'd say, okay, that question might show me I'm a bit reckless, but I'd say it's the preparation itself. If I have my own intention for the session, I believe that I'm okay with what the plant will do. Yeah, so I've never had a guide, really, but I believe that everyone, once taking them, should have like a guide or someone who's had both experiences, a bad trip and a good trip. Because someone who's had a bad trip will tell like if this is cause for concern. Someone who's had a good trip will know if he's actually receiving lessons or something, and how to integrate it. Because it's one thing taking the drug and seeing like your best self, but if you don't take the lessons you learned from the trip itself, it was just an experience or a memory that will fade over time. Yeah, but what I'd say is, even though I haven't integrated all the lessons I took, what I've noticed is sometimes my brain copes. It just says that was just a drug-induced hallucination, or you took drugs and then they told you this. But at the same time, once I incorporate the lessons I took from that trip, my life instantly improves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So on this fourth one, how horrible was it, if you can share, and was there anything you learned from it?
What I learned is that I got what I wanted, and I'm never taking magic mushrooms again. Yeah. I will never mess with them again.
How long was it,
It was 6 hours. This time it was a bit reckless, because previously I'd done 2 grams per trip. This time I did 4, because I was like, if previously I had such a good experience with 2 grams, let me take 4 grams. It'll be... No, because what happens is that you lose your sense of perception of time and space. Like, let's say this microphone, I know where it is right now. But once you've taken psychedelics, you'll feel like it's either there or here in your mouth. No, it's not something to be.
Were you in the house?
No, I was outside. And now what's happened is, when I started noticing I'm having a bad trip, I just saw, the funny thing is, I saw a police officer passing by, and I told him, please, nitie Uber, siski vizuri.
That's nice.
That's but I was like, atajua nimechukua kitu, so I might get in trouble. Yeah. But I was just like, please, nitie Uber, I have to go home. He called, thankfully, Alita Uber, because he actually saw I was not okay. Yeah, and then like once I got home, I tried sleeping, I couldn't sleep, so I just sat down watching something, but it was so horrifying. And yeah, for me, I'm done with with magic mushrooms. I really don't want to go into details because
No, it is.
that was full on like psychosis for 6 hours. I was actually like really worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God. Okay. Have you taken any other than magic mushrooms after that?
Yeah, I've taken Iboga.
Yeah, tell us about that. And what is it? It sounds more intense than the mushrooms.
Iboga it's a root bark that's found in Gabon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's usually used by Bwiti traditions to like treat addiction, meet ancestors, have spiritual experiences, find your life purpose. Iboga serves as it's usually taken in Bwiti traditions during ceremonies. So like it's a root bark that's usually scraped into powder and then like fed during the ceremony to the initiates. It's usually called a Bwiti initiation. Yeah, you're being welcomed to the Bwiti tradition itself. But for me, I don't believe in all of that. They usually believe that Iboga carries with it a forest jungle spirit that knows everything about you. What I'd say is, if they believe that, that's okay. Because I know these psychedelics, like, they actually carry spirits with them in the reductive sense. Sitaki kusema ni uchawi ama kitu kama hiyo.
Well, not every spirit, oh God.
Yeah,
Not every
in
spirit is witchcraft, it's
Yeah.
uchawi, yes. Spirits are spirits. There are some that have positivity, there are some that have negativity. There are also like a kingdom called like the kingdom of elementals, there are fairies, there are all these things, they exist with us. Si kila kitu hii dunia ni uchawi, people need to chill.
True.
Yeah.
True. So for Iboga, I'd even put it a class above psychedelics. Like, it's an experience far different from like magic mushrooms. And I understood why it's taken in ceremonial settings. So
Why is it taken in ceremonial settings?
because you really need to have a guide. If like, let's say I'm selling Iboga or someone is selling Iboga, I shouldn't sell to a beginner and let them use it on their own, because anything can happen. Ibogaine is the most powerful psychedelic from even like research studies and all that. People usually say Ibogaine is the masculine and ayahuasca is the feminine, because like Ibogaine, it shows you the truth in a very harsh way. Yeah, so let me talk about the what Ibogaine does. So I took like Ibogaine, people usually take above 20 grams, but for me, I just took 10 to 15. I can't really pinpoint the number. I took 10 to 15 grams at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. So after an hour, I started feeling its effects on my body. But Ibogaine is unique. With Iboga, you don't get hallucinations. You don't become high. Like, you can actually study, you can go to work, like nothing has happened. But as soon as you close your eyes, you are taken into a different world in of itself. So like Ibogaine lasts for 48 hours, and during those 48 hours, you don't get to sleep, no matter how hard you try. Yeah, and you feel like your heart is pumping like really hard, and it's really uncomfortable. You start sweating a lot. It's a detoxifier as well. Like, people usually take it to remove metals and toxins from the body. So it's a really like tough process to go through. But there's a spiritual journey that comes with Iboga as well. So once you take Iboga, for me, I took it at 6 p.m. I started feeling its effects on my body at 7 p.m. So I tried to go sleep at 9 p.m. But whenever I could close my eyes, I started feeling like I'm floating. And with that sense of floating, you start seeing things. By seeing things, it's like the Iboga spirits, like the British shamans usually call it. I've forgotten the name of the spirit itself, but it takes you. So like, it starts showing you a whole life review of like your childhood, your past, and the experiences themselves, and like why some things had to happen the way they did, and what you had to learn so that your soul can evolve from that experience. So like once you close your eyes, you get this feeling that it's like you're floating or flying, and then you have these hallucinations that come when you're closing your eyes.
Yeah.
And then you actually forget that you were trying to sleep. The plant just takes you. So with that, like, once I started feeling like I'm floating, I just opened my eyes. I was like, I don't want this. What is this that I'm taking? Like, I don't even know why I'm floating. Is like my soul leaving my body, really? But I really didn't want to think that. So With Iboga, I called the guy he's from Cameroon. He really knows his stuff. So he told me with Iboga, you just make a wish. Once you make a wish, close your eyes. And whatever that wish you made, you'll be shown. So Iboga is good for trying to understand past memories. It's really harsh in the sense that it will show you the things you've done to other people and why you were wrong to do them.
Wow.
Yeah, it shows you the truth in a way that it's called, I don't know, it's called something I've forgotten, but it's just something masculine, like haikufugi, hinakwambia ukweli venye iko. Yeah, with Ibogaine, if take it in a ceremonial setting with shamans as well, because like even when I had a talk with Nathan, we've talked about him. He told me that was reckless. The person who sold it to me,
I see.
shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
because Ibogaine is no joke.
So can you rate your experience as good or bad or enlightening?
It was amazing. It was really enlightening. It was amazing, but after the spiritual journey ended, the last 36 hours were really uncomfortable, like vomiting.
Allah?
Yeah, like I'm telling you, it's a detoxifier. It actually like cleans your body.
Wow.
Yeah, and you don't even you don't feel hungry, you don't eat. Yeah, so with Iboga, I really don't want to go into details about it. Because as I've said, it's a life review and everyone has their own experience. So if you want to know how Iboga is, there's so many documentaries, there's so many beauty initiations shown in YouTube videos. You can just go and watch them yourself. I really do not want to comment on that.
No worries, that's fine. That's interesting. But I have a question. Yeah. When you made the wish, when the guy told you can make a wish, did you make the wish and then got a different experience?
Yes, you just make the wish, and then once you close your eyes,
you felt a bit safe. Now.
You don't even feel a bit safe. You get to live that experience, and
it worked.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. You get to live that experience, and you forget that you've taken a drug that is making you live this experience. It's like you're actually living the experience, and you forget that you were trying to sleep.
How long did it take you from now 6 p.m. till the next day? Or?
I woke up at 9 a.m. the next day.
So this whole till 9 a.m. you're in that experience?
Yes, in that experience.
You're going to make me try it.
No, don't.
You're going to make me try it.
I'm not advocating for such. You have to do your research on it. I've seen there's so many Iboga medicine ceremonies in Kenya now. But if you don't do it where they were made, like Gabon, where the British tradition is, where they've studied about it, and where they actually live it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend because, as I've said, psychedelics are no jokes, and there are so many fake things in Kenya. So there's fake alcohol everywhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
So have you had any other psychedelic?
No.
Have you had ayahuasca?
No, I haven't.
Will you?
No, I won't.
Why?
I won't, because for me, I feel like the magic mushrooms was what I actually needed. Even with Iboga, I was trying to replicate a beautiful experience. I did have an amazing experience, but I feel like the mushrooms gave me everything I ever wanted. So doing psychedelics again is just like being a degenerate, just using drugs for the sake of using drugs. And the traditions, they usually say the Amazonian traditions for ayahuasca or beauty traditions or Mesoamerican for peyote, they usually tell you to respect the plant. Yeah. So you need to respect them as well. Just if you don't need them, don't take them.
And also the spirit behind it is still an intelligence and it will know.
I don't want to say that because that sounds so...
out there.
Yeah, that sounds so out there, but if you've taken those plants, yes, they'll know what you're saying.
Oh, do your parents know that you're doing this?
My mom knows. I told her about my magic mushroom experience. She knows that I don't advocate for them, but I tell her that they actually help with some things. Of course, my mom is a stout Christian, a really stout Christian, so anafikirizwa mashetani, but she actually respects my opinion. My sisters as well, they respect my opinion. My friend who had an horrific experience with magic mushroom, ako weka ulikuwa shiva ni sawa, lakini mimi, I'm not doing them again, and I'm it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing anyone to try them. But I'd love to have a community where I'd hear people who met God, so to speak, on these plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have that community. feel free to join us in those communities.
Yeah.
But it's always good, honestly, to have a community because sometimes you don't want to sound like you are the outlier. Sometimes it's just uncomfortable. When you know you have other people, they can even give you the right information. But they are getting it just on YouTube and on. Did you ever resume meditation?
I have resumed meditation, but I wouldn't say like I'm some monk and I'm always at conscious
Zen.
awareness. The whole time. Like with the awareness or the consciousness itself, it usually comes and goes, and it usually pisses me off because I really want it to be with me forever and ever, but you actually have to sort of work for it. It has to be a daily practice.
It has to.
Yeah, but even though like I'm not living as consciousness right now, I know that I just ask myself, like, what would my higher self do in this situation?
Nice.
Or what did I learn from the mushroom trip on how to handle such a situation? And then I know that even though my brain will try, or my ego will try to convince me that's a drug-induced hallucination, or that's some spiritual mumbo jumbo, I know this is my truth. Everyone is living their own truth, and I know this is my truth on how to lead my own life.
Yeah, so beautiful. I love how you articulate things. Did your anxiety and stress and the things that brought you into this path subside eventually?
I wouldn't say they subside, but what happened is I know what to do for them to go forever. Like what psychedelics or your higher self, okay, I wouldn't talk about higher self. What psychedelics do, they show you the path. They show you how to get there. Now, what you have to do is to do the work yourself, because there's no way you'll take 2 grams of magic mushrooms and then like you'll change forever. You won't change forever. It's just that the insight you'll get will never leave you. That truth will never leave you, but you have to actually do the work. Yeah, and that's what most psychonauts don't want to do. Psychonauts are people who use psychedelics on a consistent basis.
Watcha, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, and I wouldn't tell anyone to do that, because for me, I'm done with them. I'm not going back.
Never say never.
No, I'm done with them.
You're still young.
Yeah, no.
You know what? Why I say that is because you might find, life also has a way of testing you. Way later down the line, you might find some other really dark night of the soul. I don't know how many we go through, honestly. Then you're like, it worked the first time and then the second time. I think what should happen is be aware of the lessons, like get a guide. Don't misuse, because you will regret it. And just be more aware and present. So I feel like what you mentioned earlier, the intention really matters. Yeah. I guess that's it.
That's true.
Cool. Is there anything else you'd like to add on that topic?
On psychedelics as a whole?
Yeah.
As I've said, I am not an advocate for these plants. I just came here to talk of my personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for anyone who might be going through some dark times, they really need to find their own path. I just came here to say what the intelligence that pass through these plants and what they can actually do for a person. I'm not here to preach that psychedelics are the gateway to meeting God. Yeah, they're not. Live your own truth.
What misconceptions so far in all those, I'd like to imagine their ears, what misconceptions about psychedelics have you encountered?
There's so many misconceptions. People usually say once you have one mushroom trip, you won't have depression for the next 5 years. That's not true. You can even have depression the next day. That's not true.
Stay scared.
That's not true. What happens is, as I've said, psychedelics show you how to deal with your problems. And they show you how your life would look like if you actually dealt with your problems. They are not there to heal you permanently. Yeah, you have to do the work. And that's what people don't like to hear. The reason I took my 4th trip is because I didn't want to do the work. I just wanted to have a similar experience. And I was shown that, you have to do the work.
And the work sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
It sucks. Oh, Lord. Anyhow, okay. So I think that's enough questions from me on that topic. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
What is your experience? last week I asked you about consciousness and all that. You told me you don't really know what that is, but now you're talking about the observant. Like, I'm like, huh? So you actually know.
That's the same. So maybe it's semantics.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because like people usually refer to it as spiritual awakening or meeting your higher self, awareness, consciousness. Like, I want to know your experience with consciousness, awareness, and are you living as consciousness, or you just tap into that state and then go back to normal?
I think I'm just smiling because the same answer I gave you is the same answer I have right now. I'm such a basic person who just speaks a lot. I'm basic because I have never, and I don't think I'll ever say I had an awakening.
Yeah.
I don't get it, so I won't say it. And I get what people mean, it's just that I haven't had it myself. And Dark Night of the Soul, I think from what I've heard from people, I think I've gone through that, and also from my own investigation. As far as consciousness is concerned, how I understand consciousness is just what I said. It's like everything is consciousness, or just the English. The language of it is just so difficult. But I think everything, including God himself, also is consciousness. It just is on a spectrum. So I feel like the lower beings, like let's say crystals, have the lowest consciousness, but they're still conscious. So for example, I work with crystals, and they have consciousness. That's how you're able to program a crystal. So the fact that I know, it goes from that level all the way to maybe God, or maybe your higher self's consciousness, or even when we leave our bodies, our consciousness is a bit higher than it is when we are encased in this body.
Yes.
It's like that. But for me personally, I don't have hallucinations. I don't have weird, like when I meditate, I don't go to places. I'm very basic. I'd love to have those things, but maybe that's not what my soul wants right now. Maybe my soul right now wants to just sing for God and die. I don't know. I genuinely don't have those extra experiences that are like term as consciousness, and I don't. Yeah, but like, I know you want to ask about past lives and everything, but those are just kawa things. I know I believe in guides, I believe in God, I believe in the higher self, and those ones are different versions of consciousness. They have different consciousness than an encased person, an embodied person. So I don't know if I've answered your question about consciousness.
You have. Yeah, you really have. Though everyone like who's met consciousness in the reductive sense, they usually talk about it as like one of the most beautiful experiences of their life. So like, I'm like, how do you know about consciousness or awareness? Yet like, you don't have this profound experience where you met your higher self. Like, let's say in the beginning of the podcast, I told you how like I got agitated, and then all of a sudden nothing can agitate me anymore. Or like I used to emotionally eat, but all of a sudden I had control over my impulses.
Yeah.
Now, like, what was like the moment you realized like this is divinity in of itself? Yeah, and not like just consciousness.
Guy,
in a
I
theoretical
think
sense.
there's something I had one time I was in India, and I used to feel like I had missed out on stuff like this. Like, naeza kaa hapa niko wow. Because now I can't take drugs as a matter of like principle, any. So now I'm like, gosh, I really want to have that experience. I want to meet my hustle. Or tantra, or I don't know what. All these things I was learning about. I'm like, what? I can't do all these things. This is so annoying. But then my teacher, my spiritual teacher, said that throughout lifetimes, you've probably done all these things. Umemaliza. Now move on to the next thing. So that respective lifetime that you have, whatever comes to you, like you said, whatever comes to you is what you need at that specific time. So I don't know whether I've already done it, but I feel in my soul there are some things I've already done and finished with. In this lifetime, what I'm doing is what is meant for this lifetime for me. And the things that come to me are, for example, the worship that I do, the chantings that I do, the schools that I attend, the spiritual practices that I have are now what, for me, help me to overcome certain things like anxiety, depression, all the things that I've gone through. Exactly what you said, like there are days when someone would tell me something, anger was my thing. So I would flip out and feel it in my solar plexus, feel it in my whole body. Now I'll get the same exact thing. I'll still flip out, but I won't feel anger. I wouldn't even feel angry. Yeah. So I'll still flip out on you, but I will not, I won't embody it. It actually, it's something I've noticed. I'm like, wait, I'm not feeling angry. That's weird, like that. So I'll flip out because I still have to keep my boundaries. That's another thing I've come to learn, because it's not being all goody two shoes, like, let's zen and you can cross my boundaries and I'll be okay. No, I'll still respond the way I'm supposed to respond, but I won't react emotionally. So that one for me has been due to the spiritual practices that in this lifetime I've adopted. So that to mean that I might not necessarily need some things that maybe in another lifetime I might have needed. Yeah. As far as having amazing, fantastical experiences, to be honest, I'd really love that. How many times have I slept and I'm like, please give me astral traveling abilities. Like, I want to astral travel because I have a few times and it feels amazing.
Let me ask, are you talking about lucid dreaming?
I guess. All those things, I want them, but I never get them.
Don't you feel like they're sort of dangerous as well, in the sense that there's this book called Reality Transurfing. There's a whole chapter on lucid dreaming where he says that only do lucid dreaming if your heart or your soul or whatever tells you to do it, because some people try lucid dreaming and then they pass away in their sleep. Like, I don't know if you
God, understand. It's no laughing matter. No, I know. Yeah. I've seen it even in my comments. The time we were talking about astral travel. Let me tell you, people, do not do things without a guide. Just don't. I don't even know why this has to be emphasized. Because when you get out of your body, you have a cord that attaches to you, one. So if that cord katikaz, you're dead.
Yes.
Also, if you get out of your body unaccompanied or unprotected, spirits, elementals, all these other vibrational entities can attach to your body or can replace you. Like, they can take over your body. This is why he keeps emphasizing, do your own research. For me, the reason why I probably don't get them is because my spiritual teacher is like, you don't need these things, like I said. But even when I have, I think lucid dreamt or astral travel, whatever it was, I know I'm protected. Like, the reason why I wear this is for protection. So nothing can happen. Like, I know nothing can happen, which is probably why I don't even get them, because you don't need them. So I definitely do not advise people to do anything without protection and guidance.
Right. Makes sense. The whole concept of reincarnation, karmic retribution, your soul chose to be born by the parents you have today. What is your opinion on that? Because I have seen a lot of your videos talking about that. God, that's many things in 1 minute. You don't have to. You don't have to say everything. Just highlight the main points. I think it
just depends on how I would distill it. Would be the soul, understanding yourself as a soul, not as a body, not as a mind. Realizing that your mind is just a tool, and realizing the body is also the vehicle through which your soul evolves. So the whole purpose of the soul is evolution. So you just come in and evolve. That's why we have so many lifetimes, because you can't evolve in one. You can't do this in 100 years.
Okay, now I have another question.
You have to keep coming back.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
What do you mean by evolving? Is evolving like coming into this lifetime and living with good habits, like exercising, eating right, or what do you mean? What do you mean by evolving?
Okay, so imagine if your soul is the spark of the divine, so it is as perfect as a source, as God. To be able to experience your perfection, or God himself or source itself wanting to experience its perfection, has to experience its non-perfection. Yeah. So if I were the source, I would also project myself into as many experiences as possible so that I can experience the dark, so that I can also appreciate the light. So it's not about good habits or even being a good person or whatever. So let's say there's one spark you're a spark, I'm a spark, there are sparks, like that. So this spark comes and takes over a mind and a body and a lifetime and then certain experiences, and probably takes scenarios that it needs to overcome, let's say shame, for example, or guilt. I was even talking about this to a friend of mine yesterday, and there's this triangle of enlightenment, that's what they call it. And the lowest frequency is shame, then guilt, then apathy, then like that, all the way to enlightenment, love, joy, izo zote. So to be able to know who you are, which is what we are always told, monks say, know who you are, you have to go through all those things and master them and master them and master them. So that's the journey of the soul. That's what evolution is like evolving. Like Maslow's hierarchy, you just go up and up all the way to enlightenment. And then when you're enlightened, you have mastered everything. You come back to help the other people, the other souls who are still you. It's just
so,
that
like, do you feel like you should reach the pinnacle of enlightenment during every lifetime you actually
No, you
live?
can't.
Yeah, then what do you mean by enlightenment?
Well, you can, but very few people have.
Yeah,
very
what do you mean
few
like enlightenment? Because what I understand by enlightenment is, like, I know that triangle you're talking of. It's, I think, levels of consciousness.
Yeah.
There's usually like awareness, then above that there's pure love, I don't know, joy,
And then
enlightenment. Now, I'd say that I know what awareness is, or like pure love is, but what is enlightenment? What do you mean by enlightenment?
I think it's like, if we were just to use the word itself, it's becoming light. And you are enlightened. You become light itself, or you become source.
Yeah.
So it's, you go back to as the pure state of who you truly are, as a spark of the divine. So someone like that who is enlightened is more or less a master, or not even more or less, is a master of everything that is below that. So you've mastering something is, if you place me back in a shame spectrum of frequency, it will not teach me anything else. It will not affect me. It's not indifference, it's equanimity. So I will be equanimous around shame, around guilt, around apathy, all the way. So until you have your light again, you're not, the soul is not, and I'm looking for the very simplest ways to say it. The soul is not, it's like white light. I think it's just bright. It has purified. It's pure light. It's pure divinity now. It's the highest possible frequency. Yes. So that highest frequency wouldn't be affected by these other frequencies. Now, if we just use frequency and vibration, that's enlightenment. That's how I would define it.
So, if you reach enlightenment in this lifetime, do you believe there's any need for your soul to reincarnate into another lifetime? What happens after enlightenment? Is it this term Hindus called, or both is called moksha? I don't know if you know moksha.
Yeah, it's liberation. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe in that?
So a soul can choose. What I know happens from reading is that most souls, once you've mastered it, because you're love now, you're basically purity, your source. You have compassion. You have everything. You've reached the pinnacle. Mostly people can take birth again to come and be a teacher to help other people evolve, right?
Yeah.
Or also just spread the love. Some, like in the autobiography of a yogi, which is a book I encourage everyone to read, there are some souls which are enlightened that are taken to other dimensions and other planets to help the souls in that other planet and dimensions to evolve. The whole game is soul evolution. That's the game.
That's the reason why we're here. Which sounds like
it's an ending, yeah.
So, like, what I get from that is you need to understand why you're born in the situation you're born in, why you end up going through some unique dark night of the soul. Yes. It's that because it's necessary. Is that what you...
You should know, and this is why I have this podcast, because I feel like we've lost it, and everyone is in the dark, and everyone is calling everything witchcraft, and you're like, the hell? No, you need to know why you were born, because if you don't know... Imagine getting into an exam from I don't know where. You didn't attend class, like a mathematics class, umeingia umeanza kufanya exam. Yeah. That's how most of us are living. You need to know this is a mathematics, algebra, class 4 exam. Then you start taking the exam. This is why stuff like astrology, everything we've actually talked about, knowing your time of birth. People think it's woo. It's like, oh, this chick is astrology. No, but you need to know. You need to know why you came with the configurations that you came with. You need to know why you were born in the family you were born in. You need to know these things, because if you know, knowledge is better than ignorance. You behave better, you act better, you respond better. Otherwise, you're just a victim of circumstances, and you're just, why me, until 100 years, and you have to come back again.
You have to live another
what's the point? Again.
So, like, what's your opinion on the most dominant religions, like Christianity, Islam? What other dominant religion is there? I don't know. But with these religions, they usually teach you to look for divinity outside yourself, or like you are Miriam. You live this one life. If you don't do X, Y, or Z, you'll die and never come back again. When we clearly know that, mind you, everyone has their own opinion. We clearly know that that's not the truth.
Yeah.
People are just being led astray by all these religions. What these religions do is that they take away the truth of who you are, that you, as whichever avatar you're wearing right now, which is Miriam, you are already whole, already divine. But all these religions, these political things going on, they take you away from that truth. What is your opinion on? Do you despise these other religions because people are just lost, or you just don't mind them?
I used to get agitated same way. I'm just like, we are wasting time.
Yes.
Then eventually I learned, especially what I was telling you about levels of consciousness, I learned that no, that's still part of consciousness. There's no not consciousness. So each of it is a specific facet or a specific perspective or a specific, if it's like a hexagon, it's just different sides of the same thing. So there's literally no need to be angry unless my anger is helping me go inwards and help me get out of the shell and get out of the limitation. But you see, there are some people it's still serving. There's someone who is at that level of consciousness where that is serving them. And thankfully, they get another chance to come back. And now that in the next time, you'll find those people who, let's say in this lifetime, they were, let's say, Christian, and they believed, not Christian, okay, sorry. Let me say Christian, use myself. So let's say in another life, there's one of the lives I was, let's say, a nun in a Catholic church, and I did everything that nuns could do. I was everything that a Christian nun would do. And then maybe I come back to this lifetime, and then I go back to maybe Catholic or Anglican, which is where I'm from, and I keep feeling there's something more. You see, so it served me then, but I come back with the same frequency. Then because I probably mastered it, I start feeling agitated. I just feel there's something more. So it served me then. So there's nothing wrong with it. But I, as a soul, am evolving. So I look for more, and I find, let's say, Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, and I venture into that. And even then, there are so many other levels to overcome. There's bhakti. There's knowledge. There is, what's the other one? Rituals. There are all these things. So the soul is just still in the process of evolution. So you can't label this as wrong and this. Every level serves the soul at that stage that it's at.
Right. So basically what I'm getting from you is that everyone should live from their higher self and try to understand why they are having their own unique human experience and why some events in their life have to happen in order for their soul to, quote unquote, evolve. Is that right?
I would say just honor how you feel, because some people also are okay just how they are.
Right.
Yeah, you shouldn't wake up someone who's asleep. You'll sleep yourself. So, and sleep doesn't mean they are less than anyone else. It's just that soul at that point is getting the lessons for that point. It's like how, because I also ascribe to the notion that the soul goes through all these bodies, 8.4 million species before you attain a human body. So imagine going to a tortoise and then being like, you tortoise who's living for like 200 years, you're wasting time. No, they're not. They are gathering all the experiences that the soul is gathering all the experiences that a tortoise can get over 200 years. Maybe it's patience. So what happens is it gets that biomemory of patience that it will probably need in later in life, like maybe right now. When it becomes an elephant, it's probably its memory, something like that. I'm making it very basic, but everything counts for something. Yeah.
Right, I do understand. I would love to ask some other topics, like let's say on love, finances, because like you find there's some people like let's say in relationships who get their partner so easily, while others have to go through numerous heartbreaks and end up not getting a solid partner. Or in finances, you'll find out that some people work so hard, yet they don't get results, while other people just work a bit and get supreme results. Do you feel like there's spiritual reasons behind that?
Everything is spiritual. Is why I'm saying that for those who are called to understand why something is happening in their lives, they really should take up the call. I think I didn't say that. I was thinking it. If you feel the need to go forth and find out more, please do honor that call, because it's your higher self nudging you. If you don't feel the call, cool. So if instead of looking around, which is something I used to do earlier in this lifetime, where I would look at people wholesome, and I'm like, why are these people so poor? Why are these people so helpless? Why are those people rich? Why, like that? Then you learn a bit more, you realize, no, there's karma. There is lessons a soul chose, like what you're asking about people being born in a specific family. If, for example, a soul, I as a soul I want to learn, let's say, money management, for example, or master money, I can choose to either come into a rich family that's very hardworking, or come from a very poor family that I will have to break from the mold or the ceiling and earn money and master money, yeah? Then, or if you probably want to maybe master money from maybe desire wastefulness, you can still insert yourself in a circumstance where you will find the circumstances will make you a wasteful person, so that you learn the experience of being a wasteful person, come back, and then learn the consequences of being wasteful and master non-wastefulness. You get?
Yeah, I do understand.
It's always, that's why this place is the place of duality, and that's why it's such a place many souls choose, because you have the ability to do the dance. So you can't take people wholesome and say these people. No, you have to know your specific soul. What did you learn? What do you feel you're here to learn? There's another woman I read called Dolores Cannon. She says her guides told her when she did all this, she was doing past life regressions, the one thing that kept recurring was every time you go through an experience, ask yourself, what have I learned? Even if you learn one small thing, even if it's patience, even if it's anything, even if it's being the observer for you, you were able to experience yourself as the observer. That's enough. You don't have to be observer mode every time. You've already learned that you're not your mind conclusively. You're convicted about this. You're not your mind, you're not your body. There's someone else who is who you are. So that's all you needed to learn from that experience. Then you move on to the next thing and the next thing. That's what evolution is about.
Right. I do understand. I wish I would meet a lot more like-minded people like you.
We have
Kenya.
a group. No, but that's why this podcast is here, because this podcast is Conscious Kenya group. There is otherworldly group. There are so many communities that if you're interested, you feel like we are your type of people, just join us and learn and grow, because, and also you'll just gravitate towards it. It's never that serious. The other thing we need to emphasize is from the break, there's someone who asked us about trip. So you need to explain what a trip is. But before then, we need to overemphasize and emphasize again that drugs are illegal. Please, we are not advocating for illegality. We do not even advocate that you take psychedelics unless you're called to. That's what you said. But even then, do it at your own risk. We are not. This podcast is not advocating for illegality. They are illegal. You can Google. They are illegal, and they can be dangerous. So yeah, do it. Use your discretion. Yeah.
True. They are very dangerous. You need to emphasize that. That's the main disclaimer. And we're not here to promote illegality. We're just here to tell people of certain experiences, and they might find it as insightful, or it might motivate someone to do their own research.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they can see whether to delve deep into certain arenas of spirituality or not.
And get a guide. If you have to, even if you go to like Brazil and to do ayahuasca, get a guide.
Or do them in ceremonial settings.
You were to talk about the trip. Like for people who won't understand what a mushroom trip is or those trips are. It's not a trip by bus. What is it?
A mushroom trip it's an altered state of consciousness where you have taken this dried psychedelic that's meant to alter your current state of consciousness into being like, I'd say, into a higher state of consciousness depending on the experience itself.
Yeah.
So how I'd put it is, a trip is just basically an altered state of consciousness. It's not you moving from X to Y or
to buy mushrooms. That was funny.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we need to end it here. We obviously can talk a lot. The thing about this community is that we always have something to say. That is always so cool. But for now, thank you so much, Allan, for coming and sharing. so very articulate explanation of what these things do. I hope you will do your own research. I hope you'll get your own guides. Do not engage in illegality. And until next time, we hope to see you in the next episode. Subscribe, like, and share. Kwaherini. Bye.